All right, guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the SCB Small Creator Breakdown. If you guys don't know, we are a brand new podcast talking about the SCB world. And we currently, right now, have our first guest. I want everybody to give it up for Augustin Siel. Augustin, tell the people who you are.
Well, look, I'm an SCB fighter. I'm a fighting man. 7 days a week, twice on Sundays.
Mm,
I put belt to ass. And yeah, very excited for this matchup. It's the biggest fight of my life. Much bigger
yep.
than the Pat fight. My first main event, man. I've come a long way. 3 co-main events and 1 main event. I'm
Oh, yeah.
excited to be here. That's me. And if you want to see who I really am, tune in January
Mm.
10th.
Yes, if you
Yeah.
guys don't know,
No,
he is main eventing January 10th, 2026 in Baltimore, Maryland for Sword 7, A New Hope.
Former champ, former light heavyweight champ. It's my
Mm.
biggest challenge yet.
I'm excited to watch that fight, man. That's super anticipating. I'm excited for you and good luck to you. Now, before that we go any further, I wanted to very quickly talk about the passing of Sammy Makori Jr. I didn't personally know him, but we are going to have a link down in the description for a GoFundMe where everybody can donate. If you want to talk a little bit about it, you probably knew him a little more than I did. So
also, I do want
Yeah.
to say, by the way, it doesn't matter what you donate. Anything will help the cause. So if
anything
you
matters. I know. I know.
donate
I'm putting stuff in.
Doesn't
anything,
matter if it's $5,
Mhm.
$50. Everything helps. Sammy Makori Jr. was a generational talent. He was one of Garza's sparring partners.
Mhm.
He had a very bright future ahead of him, and he got a lot done in the short time he was here. He's a very young man, and sadly, he recently passed away. And I just want to, send my heart out to his friends and family.
Mhm.
It's a very hard time. He was very young when he passed,
Yeah.
and like we said, anything helps. The link is down below. Um, he was I got a chance to speak with him.
Mhm.
Just going through my DMs, it's insane.
Yeah.
Um, and I just want to say rest in peace to Sammy McCoy Jr. And his legacy's not over. There are people that are carrying his legacy on,
Mhm.
and there's people that he inspired, and those people are going to change the world. Garza is one of them.
Yeah.
So if you can donate anything, if you're watching, please donate. It's in the link below.
Thank you for that,
and,
man.
and like we, and like we said, anything, whether it's $1, $5, like
Yep.
Augustin said, it doesn't matter. It will definitely help. So don't you don't have to do it, but anything will definitely help. I know for sure I'm gonna put something.
Yep.
Because
100%.
it's honestly it's a sad thing to see. So I feel like as a community we should all join together and help as much as we can. For sure.
Mhm.
I agree. I agree. And no matter how you feel about Garza, it's not about Garza. This is about a family that's lost
Yes.
a young man, and no matter who you are, that should resonate. And I would encourage everybody, please, anything helps. Please donate.
Mhm. Definitely. Yep.
Thank you for allowing me
R.I.P.
to speak on that for a moment. I appreciate that.
100%, man. Yeah. Rest in peace, Sammy. Um, he's up with the Lord now, and he will live on. I wanted to ask you about your opponent. I wanted to ask your opinions about him, what you think about him as a person.
Well, look, I think he's a great guy. Personally, I've gotten the chance to interact with him a few times. As you know, it wasn't a great first meeting. You know, obviously we slapped each other up a bit, but look what's happened. Because of that viral moment, we now have a main event, and I know we both appreciate each other for that. Sometimes you gotta take the hits if you want these big time moments, and now we're the main event, and it's a beautiful thing. He's a former champion, light heavyweight champ. He goes by the best in the world. I got a lot of respect for the guy, inside the ring, outside the ring, and it's going to be an honor to share the ring with him.
Oh, now, I do want to ask you this: is the vibes a little bit different now that it's main event, not co-main event? In your situation, you're finally now moving on to a main event, by which
Sure.
I feel like every single person knows it's an honor to be able to main event a card. So are the vibes the same, or Like, what's the vibes overall? How do you feel knowing that now you're main event, you're not co-main event anymore, you're main
Yeah.
event?
The biggest thing I'm feeling is gratefulness. Gratefulness to the universe for putting me in this position. You know, I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm able to do exactly and be exactly who I wanted to be when I was a kid. You know, entertain people, travel the country, bag the baddest broads I could find. You know, it's a beautiful experience, this fight game, and it's changed my life. And you're right, it's got a different feel to it, man. This is you know, I've got all my haters on the undercard. I hope they enjoy their place and that they've learned their lesson. And that's that the nice guy finishes last. Okay? Don't fucking forget that. Because I'm at the top of the card. And everybody that's hated on me, everybody that's put my fucking dick in their mouth, they're fighting on my undercard. So enjoy your place. That's my message to everybody on this undercard.
Mm.
Know your place.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like the vibe you bring. The villain story you got going on. I love it, man. You know, whenever and it's not just a play for everybody watching. Like I've met Augustin. I met you in August and you had that same exact vibe and I loved that.
I
You like
appreciate that.
the confidence, it's all over you. And I'm really excited and I do think you deserve to have that main event spot. Um,
Thank you.
what is your out of all the other fights below you? What is one of the fights where you're like, I'm excited for that fight that that you might be watching while you're warming up?
Well, I am very excited to see Little Joey versus AJ Redwood. I think the promo has been great. I think
Promo's
they've definitely
crazy.
stepped it up.
Oh yeah.
It's been crazy. It's been very out of pocket, very controversial, and very to the point. And I love it.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of what AJ's been doing. I think he's a bum. You know, I think I could say some other things, but I really don't want to get canceled. I think he's a
No,
bum.
I get it. I get it. I've had some problems with AJ too, trying to fight him and all that stuff,
See, I feel
which
like
I will.
everyone has had a problem with him at this point. That's all I hear. I
Yeah,
Sure.
got problems with AJ. It's like it's
yeah.
crazy.
And look,
I'll.
I can respect the idea of pissing everybody off and you know being the villain, but the dude looks like a cupcake and he's got no motion. He's got zero motion, man. It's just zero, like 4 likes on 12 posts, zero fucking motion. And there's a reason for that. Nobody gives a fuck, you know?
So, do you think Little Joe will be winning then? Is that what I'm getting?
Hope so. I hope so. I see that AJ's been posting old footage, you know, where he was back when he was skinny, back when he didn't have a neck beard. Now he's got both of those things, neck beard, and he's a fat fuck.
Hmm.
And he looks useless in there. He looks like a bag of leaves, man. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very excited for that fight
But
too. I think.
I
I
do want to
think.
say I do want to say I'm very disappointed in Love Life Zach because we could have had the co-main of the century with JDP
Mm,
versus Love Life Zach. But
Oh,
Zach's
for
been
foot
ducking, and I
seven?
don't blame him. You know, he's got 2 losses in a row to CEO Cash and now to Tunka. So I don't blame him. You know, he would get an swooping from JDP. Whoever steps in there with
Wait,
JDP's fucked.
wait, that was
So I don't
supposed to
blame
be
him.
for foot seven?
It was. Even Lesnar's pushing for it. But Zach doesn't want any part of it. And I don't blame him.
yeah. 100%. 100%.
Hmm.
That would be a good fight. Hopefully, we'll see that
Yeah.
down the line, whether it's Breakout '08 or somewhere else. You know, but that is a
Hopefully.
fight I want to see.
Hopefully. Needs to happen. And look, we've got a lot of great cards, great fights on this card. It's stacked. We've got
Oh
Lesnar
yeah.
fighting. We've got Waffle Taco Gamer. We've got myself. We've got that bum Diesel. You know, he finally got a scale. He's finally
Mm.
made it to 185, so he's close to what we would have made. You know, it took him 3 months to make the weight, but yeah, fuck that guy. We've got a great card ahead of us, January 10th, and I'm at the top of it always.
Is that a fight that you would want to do again? I know it didn't happen, sadly, but you and Diesel, is that something you ever want to
Absolutely
try
not.
again? No.
Absolutely not. No, he's never going to benefit off of my name again. The only way he's going to benefit is being on my undercard. And I hope he enjoys it while he lasts. I hope he gets brain scans after this fight. You know, we had a lot of talks behind the scenes.
Mm.
You know, with the biggest people in the scene, we had a huge meeting at the last Sword 7. And one of the things was, hey, Diesel, you need to get checked after this, man. Because just the decision making that this guy has, the lack of brain power that this man possesses is astronomically affecting his ability to perform in these fights.
Mm.
He's giving up, and even after performing well, he's giving up and it's pathetic, man. I don't want to share the ring with that guy. He's a quitter. He's a bum, and I hope he retires very soon.
Okay, okay.
I mean,
So
watching in that. Oh, hold on. What were you gonna say, Bess?
no, you go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Now, going into that bit where Bass said if you would like to fight Diesel, if that's not next after this fight, you get the win with Wi-Fi, right? What's next for you?
Um, Nothing is next for me. What is next for me is VOP fight, and that is the only thing I'm focused on. I'm living every day like it's my last, and I'm living my life like that VOP fight is my last day on Earth. I'm not focused on anything else other than the former champion of the world.
I love that mindset. I love that. Anytime I'm ever scheduled for anything, I have that same exact thing that, I'm usually planning to not be alive the day after my fight. So I
It's
like
the
hearing
only
another
thing that
person
matters.
with that. So I wanted to ask more about you as the person and not as a fighter. Um, what were you doing before you got into the SCB scene, and how did you get into the scene?
Well, look, I was a fat loser, you know. I had a hot girlfriend. That was probably my only redeeming quality. Yeah, I was just eating all day, not really working, playing
Okay.
video games all day. And, one day I just woke up and I decided to stop being a fucking loser. And I think a lot of other people should do that. I
Mm.
run into people all day older than me that have nothing going on, you know. And sometimes there's a fork in the road, man. You know, I had something horrible happen to me 4 years ago. My son passed away when I was 23 years old. And
Sorry about that.
thank you. That's what got me into this, because I was lost. I had nothing. I was 240 pounds. I'd lost my son and I had nothing. And then I watched Jake Paul knock out Tyron Woodley. I was one of the only people that bought that pay-per-view. It's about 65,000 pay-per-view sales. And I was one of them. And I watched that live. And I wanted that. I wanted
Yeah.
people to feel the pain that I felt. I I I want to hurt people. And people don't get that, and I understand that. My father has his qualms about it. He says, "Son, you're not a violent man." I said, "Dad, you don't know what I've been through.
Mm.
You don't know the kind of man I am, And look, I'm going to put it on this guy. We've both been through things. We both had tragedies. It's going to be an honor to share the ring with that man, and I'm very excited."
So when did you start to train? When were you like, all right, I'm gonna find a gym? And how was it when you first started training? Because I know for me, it was a whole complete different aspect of everything.
Yeah.
So when did you start getting in? And I know that you have had an MMA fight. Did you get into MMA first or boxing first?
Boxing was my passion. It's
Okay.
it's what saved my life. I would not be here without boxing, and I owe my life to boxing. And the universe put it in my path, and I ate it up. I caught the boxing bug, and it wasn't easy. It was not easy. I was getting my ass whooped. When I first started my first sparring session, I got a concussion. It was terrible. Um, but I did sort of well, and I enjoyed it, and I didn't give up, and I kept going.
Mm.
And it's been the hardest thing I've ever done is boxing. It scares me to death, but I'm never gonna let something that scares me stop me from doing it ever. Okay, because that's a challenge from the universe. You know, you should do things you're afraid of. You should go for things that scare you, and this scares me to death. It always has, and that's what I love about it because it makes me get up every goddamn day. Because I know someone out there is waking up every day wanting to put the pause on me. Training hard,
Mm-hmm.
and so it makes me go even harder.
Okay. Okay, Recon, you got anything you'd like to add on to that?
I mean, it's kind of touching how, sometimes people don't know why we do the things we do, and it's kind of awesome how you're coming up here and explaining your backstory of what got you into it. And I feel like people don't get to see that side of most of us. They just see the character we put on. Like me personally, I got into boxing due to the social anxiety I deal with on a daily basis, and I still do. So boxing has been a therapy for me. And I feel like every single person has their own story. I'm pretty sure Vast has his own story too. And it's honestly a touchy thing. It's pretty cool to see people opening up, and I feel like we should start doing that more,
Yeah,
especially with with the men's mental illness, right? We should definitely
yeah.
do that more. Talk
I
about it.
absolutely agree, and this is honestly the first time I've talked about what happened to me. Is right here, right now.
Mm,
I mean, I've told a couple people that are close to me in the scene, but this is the first time I've really said it in public. And I think you're right that, men's mental health is very important and it's not prioritized in this country, in this world.
mm.
And so we need to talk about these things. And it's very important for me um, to tell my story. I think it's time. I think it's time.
And we
Yeah,
appreciate it, man. Especially doing it
Yeah.
here. Definitely, it's
yeah, yeah.
Appreciate
I
you
love your
guys for giving me the
story.
platform and the chance to speak.
100%, man. I love your story. I love what you, how you express it, and trying to think on how to word it. How, like you said, you were going through some rough things, and you flipped it, and you're a whole new person now, and I love that about you, and I love that about everything about it. So,
And look, man, every villain that you meet, every guy you think's, a bad guy, eh, it's always something underneath. There's
mhm,
always a cause and effect to these things, and how we deal with them is maybe it's not healthy. Maybe this isn't healthy. I bust in heads for a living. You know, I just, I don't know. I want people to feel the same pain I felt in my life,
no,
and sometimes I need to make them hate me or pretend I hate them just to make it, just to make it palatable.
mhm, yeah. Well, I don't
And I
think
think
you're a.
I think it's very important to talk about these things for sure.
Well, I think you're a great guy. I don't think you're a bad guy because when I met
Thank
you, when I showed up to Sword Seven in August, I didn't know anybody there. I didn't know anybody, and you were the first person to talk to me. You were the nicest person there, by the way. I want to point that out there to me. And you made me feel like I belonged there. So,
You do. You certainly do. And I think it's very important to me to make people feel as good as I can
mhm,
in the time that I'm here. I just want people to know how special they are
yeah,
because people are very special and we are all have a purpose. And I just believe in humanity, man. Even after everything, I still believe in people
yeah,
and I still want the best for people. And that's the way I live my life. And I appreciate you saying that. I
mhm.
really do.
you know I do want to touch a little bit on that. I feel like with the current situation the world is in, um, some people might think we have no hope as the human race. We don't have hope anymore. But I feel like it is true to a certain extent. But we do have the ability to change that. We definitely
Yeah.
do as long as like we all unite as one and make a change for the better. Sure.
Yeah. You have to believe in the process. You have to believe that the universe has a plan for you, and you have to be grateful for what you have, or you'll get nothing. Every day I wake up and I proclaim what I'm grateful for, and I thank the universe. I don't know what's running this. I don't know who God is. I don't know where He is, but I look up and I proclaim my gratefulness.
Mhm.
And the more I do that, the more I receive, and the more I receive, the more I can do for this world. And that's all I want. That's all I want is to make an impact.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that message, and I love the message that you spread. Um, I know you say you're a bad guy, but you're a good person. You're a good guy, and you're one of the in my eyes, one of the most respected people in the scene, at least to me.
I appreciate that. I really do.
So I wanted to talk about your fights. For your boxing, your record's currently 1-1-1 with 1 KO. I wanted to hear a little bit about all of those fights that you've had.
Sure. Yeah. Well, look, my debut was back in February of 2024, and I had 4 fights in 1 year, under a year. So I first fought Julian De La Rosa, a local Tampa fighter. I flew all the way from Portland, Oregon to Florida, and I went 3 rounds with a gifted amateur. I mean, this guy was 6'2", 80-inch reach, great fighter, young guy too, very fast and speedy, and I had my hands full with it for sure. It was both of our debuts, the prelim main event, and a very exciting fight. And I just remember the entire fight just being so happy to be in there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if I'd make it to that fight. I really didn't. Like I said, I live every day like it's my last. And just to be in there was a beautiful experience. Fighting in 80-degree weather in front of 400 people. It was a blessing. People buying me beers after, the fans. And it was phenomenal. So that was my debut. I did lose. That was the last time I lost. I haven't lost since, and it's been an amazing 2 years being in this scene. So after I fought him, I had to take a step back and evaluate things. I had that loss, and you know, I went and started my own event, CQIF, and that was on Vigilant MMA, and we hosted an amazing first event. CQIF 1 was June 28th, 2024. So just a few months later, we had top of the card Yaze Boxing versus Divine Valley. Massive fight.
I remember
Massive
that
fight.
fight.
Yep, that was a great one. Co-main event was myself and Trey Ingram in the first ever SCB MMA match. First and only. It's never happened again. Choked him out in the second round and put him to sleep. Took him about 5 minutes to wake him up. Luckily we had medical personnel on standby for all these events, which is very necessary. I will say that. So put him to sleep. That was great. I went on to fight Pat McGough for the middleweight title. Obviously, that was a no contest. Ended in a cut. And I went on to fight ASAP Ashton about a month and a half later. Put the pause on him. That was phenomenal, and it meant everything to me. Getting to fight, getting to win a boxing match was what I wanted this entire time, and to be able to win it in such stunning fashion was it was a stupendous feeling. I can't even describe it. As soon as he called the fight off, I dropped to my knees and just burst into tears. All the pressure was finally off my shoulders. I needed that badly. And I got put on the canvas in the first round, and I went on to 10-7 him in both rounds, and the second and the third. Dropped him 4 times. And God, it was an incredible fight. And that was my last fight.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing a lot of momentum into this one, and I'm very excited.
I wanted to talk a little bit about that Pat fight. So the
Sure.
first fight, it was a great fight, by the way. I remember watching that live. What was your thought process going into that fight? What was your thought process during the fight and then after?
My thought process going into the fight was kill or be killed. I don't give up ever. As you can see, I never got dropped, didn't get dropped once. And he's a great pressure fighter. Obviously, I went into the fight with a lot going on. Look, I had the fucking flu, first of all, which I've never really told anybody, but that really affected my gas tank. I remember being in there in the second round, and I've seen a lot of second rounds, but I remember being in there and just being like, my chest is about to give out. Like, I'm fucked. I was fucking melting ginger snaps into tea, for the weeks previous, just trying to get better, and um, didn't help a lot. But got in there, with a swollen cheek after getting busted up the day before. I fought with 9 stitches in my mouth. I don't know anybody else who has done that. So going into the fight, I felt compromised. That's how I felt. If you're asking me and you want me to be honest, I felt compromised. And I know that the rematch goes way different. I'm in the rematch. I'm staying far away from the weigh-ins. I'm far away from everybody. I'm just going to get in that ring and do what I do best, and that's put belt to ass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, talking about that rematch, how do you see that rematch going in Pat?
I
Running
see
back.
me finishing him. Finishing him. Pause. Um, it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be real bad. Put the kids to bed. Make sure grandma gets to bed early. Um, yeah. Don't uh, don't let the kids watch this one. It's gonna be brutal, man.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's gonna happen. I really don't care, to be honest. Like I said, I'm focused on the former champion of the world, not the current one. If he wants to call himself a champion off of a no contest, I think that's ridiculous. And I think there's a reason why he hasn't had the ability to defend his belt. The universe knows that he is not the worthy middleweight champion of the world. He's just not. And I understand that. They understand that. And this guy's tried to make title fights. This guy's tried to defend his belt. But there's no belt to defend. He did not earn it. That is a no contest, clear as day. And when we run it back, I'm going to show him who the real champion is.
I'm very excited for that fight. I know you were saying that you are extremely focused and only focused on your current fight now. But I feel like that is the fight. That is one of the biggest fights right now in SCB, in my opinion. I know you guys will run that back, and I have a ton of respect for you. I have a ton of respect for Pat, and I am very excited to watch that fight when it does happen.
It's going to be a good one. It's going
It
to be a
will.
good one. And look, I want him to sort of build a little more momentum because he's sort of gotten his ass whooped in these last two fights, with Waffle and Divine Xavier. He's got to build a little momentum, honestly, because at this point, his trajectory is going down. So I'd like to see him get a win. I'd like to see him not get put on the canvas, again, like he did in one of his previous fights with Waffle. So we'll see. We'll see. I want him to perform well in a fight, and then I'll fight him.
Okay. So one of your older fights was an MMA fight. And like you said, you choked him out in you said the second round, correct?
That's correct.
Do you want to do more MMA fights in the future? I know you said that your passion is boxing. But obviously with you having MMA training, do you want to try to do that again?
I'd love to. There's a lot of people who are looking to get into it. Misfits has recently come out. Mams Taylor has come out and said there's going to be MMA only cards, for Misfits. So it's going to be all MMA. And I just love it. It's all action. All action. And
It's very fun.
yes, it's very fun to watch. That was an exciting fight, me versus Trey. And I think we can have more of those, a lot more of those. And there's a few people uh, who would be interested. Some big names for sure.
Yeah,
Can you
MMA
think of any?
is for you.
Can you think of a couple? There's two I'm thinking of.
Man, listen,
I'm not gonna say. I'm not
I
gonna
think
say.
I think any fight in MMA would be a fun fight. I think you and Pat in MMA would be great. I don't know his
Oh,
experience. I don't know if he's never done
oh,
anything,
are we
but
talking? Are we
Yeah,
but
he
I just
already
talking?
think
ducked me.
I think
That's the reason I
anything.
boxed him.
Okay.
It's the reason I boxed him. I called him out for an MMA match last year.
Mm.
As soon as I choked out Trey, within days I called out Pat for an MMA match. I even said, "Hey, look, we could do kickboxing because you've got no MMA experience. I'll meet you in the middle and we could do kickboxing." And he refused both times, and that's why I fought him in boxing.
So
Because that's the other thing. I was preparing for MMA fights when I fought Pat. If you remember, I was supposed to fight Adam Saleh, the Menace, on October 18th,
I
just a
forgot
few months
about that.
before. And the fight got canceled because of the Hurricane Milton, I think.
I forgot
Um,
about that.
yeah. So I was in pure MMA form going into that fight, and for the last year, since that no contest, all I've been doing is boxing. Haven't even kicked a bag. I've just been purely into the science of boxing.
So you have training in kickboxing, and do you have any training in ground game, whether it's wrestling, jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. So I trained at American Top Team for years. And so I did wrestling, I did Muay Thai. I did a little bit of jiu-jitsu, not much though, but a lot of wrestling and a lot of Muay Thai and a lot of MMA training too, just
Okay.
straight up MMA classes. They offer everything.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't even, here's the crazy thing, man. I had never taken a wrestling class. I had never taken a Muay Thai class. I wasn't doing any MMA when I fought Trey at all. I'd never taken any MMA classes. So imagine now, dude. Imagine now. If I had all the training and it would just, and I choked him out. I'd never practiced that. You kidding me? But I just did it. You know,
Yeah.
the universe provides. The universe provides a way for the worthy one,
Yeah.
and that's me.
Yeah,
Now,
MMA is a fun thing. Maybe if you show up to 08, maybe we can do a little MMA spar because I got a little bit, not a lot at all, but I think it's
Yeah,
fun. I
that'd be
love the
great.
ground game. I love doing that.
It's
I
fun. I
love
like to wrestle, especially when I'm drunk. To be honest,
I love watching it, but me personally, I would never get in it.
It
Like
hurts.
no,
It's not a fun
it's
thing,
scary.
you know. I'd much rather get
Very
punched in the
scary.
face than elbowed or get
That
my
was the
arm
most
pulled.
nervous I'd actually been in for a fight. Was
Yeah.
fighting Trey. Because look, this guy's been a pro wrestler for fucking 15 years, right?
Hmm.
He's a tough guy, big country guy. You know, he cut weight for that fight. I had to gain weight for the fight at 185. He's a massive guy, dude. Very strong. Huge fucking dude. That was a hell of a fight. And I was definitely nervous going in.
Yeah. Yeah.
now, how was the transition going from MMA to boxing? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't that smooth. I don't think it's a smooth transition. I personally
Nope.
don't have experience with that, but
No, it's not good to have your eggs in multiple baskets. You know, I put all my eggs into one basket. Because look, you can get more fucking eggs. Okay, you get them anywhere. All right. So I put them all into this basket of boxing, and it's paid off. It's paying off in sparring. It's paying off in the ring. It's beautiful, and I feel like a boxer. I feel like a boxer now, not an MMA fighter, and that's the difference between my last few fights.
Yeah. MMA and boxing is very different for training. You know, it's basically exact opposite with your stance, with boxing being very footwork heavy, you know.
Yeah. And I'm a
And
kickboxer, so like I like staying upright and high, or I like staying upright and high,
exactly.
and you know that's very detrimental in boxing. You know, because you're
Yeah.
just gonna get pieced up, and because you know you're waiting for somebody to shoot, you're waiting for these certain things to throw the knee and throw the low kicks, calf kicks, and so it really throws you off, and that's why I've really just been studying the game of
Hmm.
boxing, just watching full boxing matches all
Yeah.
day, every day. I'm in love with it, man. Like never before. This entire year, I've been in love with boxing,
Yeah.
and I love being a boxer.
I definitely
then
learned how different it is with MMA and boxing because whenever I started training, when I started up camp for that exhibition I was going to do with Kel, I went to this MMA gym, and yeah, leg kicks are no joke, brother. Leg kicks are no joke, especially when you're in a boxing stance when you're very front foot heavy.
Yes,
It's not a fun time.
it'll ruin the whole fight. You know, you get
But
hit with a couple of those, and yeah, you're fucked.
that's where my point kind of comes in. Like I would say it is a disadvantage. But at the same time, you kind of do bring something new that most people that are doing pure boxing don't see. If it makes sense, it's like
Sure.
I train in an MMA gym, and I've been not purely MMA gym. They do a lot. They do MMA. They do Muay Thai. They do all of
Yeah.
it. But I've been taught certain things, and I feel like most people that I've sparred that are purely boxing, they don't see those things that I've been being taught
Sure.
by
Yeah.
MMA fighter. So
Yeah.
it definitely brings in some weapons that people won't see, but at the same time, it can be also be a disadvantage.
Hmm.
100%. I think it is more of a disadvantage than an advantage. You know, I think there is a reason why all these MMA fighters get knocked out when they go try boxing. it's just a completely different game, and I had to
Yeah.
learn that the hard way.
Yeah. So I wanted to get your current opinions right now on the SCB scene, and I wanted to hear some of the opinions you have of the events coming up, whether it's the Sword 7 you're main eventing, but even like the other ones, like Bloodline Mafia is, if I'm not mistaken, next weekend. Breakout '08 is in March. And I wanted to just hear your opinions on some of the matchups that are going into Bloodline, Sword 7, and Breakout. And some of your
Well, look,
opinions
I
as
think
well.
SCB is in a very interesting spot right now. I think it's in a place where someone could take over the whole thing. I wonder who. Um, I think that a lot of the stars have lost their shine, and we're in a place where someone's got to take the helm. Someone's got to take the fucking wheel, and I think
Would you
that's
s-
me. Matter
would
of
you
fact,
say
I know that's me.
would you say that I feel I was in when DDK was still active and people had him in a pedestal, right? And ever since he retired, it's kind of been empty at a certain point. Like to
Sure,
I don't
it's one of the
yeah,
best content
that's how
creators
it's
we
felt.
had.
So yeah, that's where I go with my point. Like now that he's gone, I know there's a lot of people that are trying to fight for that position again to be put in that pedestal that DDK was in once before he retired. So
100%. There's a
do you feel
niche
like
opening.
there's a lot of people that are possibly worthy of that spot?
Look, I think people need to step up for sure. I think they need to step up their promotion. I think people should take a leaf out of Little Joey's book. They should take a leaf out of my book. You need to be bold. You need to be provocative. You need to be controversial. You know, um, one of the things is, look, the biggest star we have is Lesra Gomez. All right, but here's the problem: if Lesra had been training as hard as some of the other people in this scene, um, he'd be on Misfits right now. Right now, he'd probably be fighting, Brand Risk, Misfits, all these big ones. Um, because dude, his promo is the best. It's the best. His numbers, he gets the numbers, but
He
it's
gets
not
lots of numbers.
just about that. You can like, what's the point of getting all the views and the numbers if at the end of the day the performances aren't there against the big names, right? Like, I just I think that he's one of the best hopes we have in this scene to keep it going, and I'd like to see him train harder for his next fight. I would like to see that.
It's a mixture
Yeah.
of both for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch his fight both on Sword 7 and
Sure.
watch his tag team for a
Yep. Of
breakout. I do, man, I wish it was just him and Waffle, though.
course. Well, we don't know why that's not happening. It's all on Waffle. That's been super disappointing, and I really wish. Yeah, I mean, look, they could have fought on CFL. It was supposed to be Lesnar versus Waffle instead of Lesnar versus Big Sam, but Waffle couldn't do it. For the 19th time. So that's been disappointing, and I know that's been disappointing for Lesnar as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for both of those. Um, I know Bloodline is still newer in the scene. They're about to have their first event next week. Do you see Bloodline coming up with like more like the bigger whatever I'm thinking of promotions, like Sword 7 is bigger, Breakout is, if not one of the biggest ones right now, and then you have DKM as well. Do you think that they could come up towards that bar?
It all depends. It really depends on how this first event goes, if it happens. Um, you know what I mean? Like, there's no evidence thus far that the event will happen because a Bloodline event has never happened.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is not put it on a pedestal quite yet. We need to see how it goes. Need to give it a chance.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are writing it off, and I don't blame them. You know, this is a first time event, and events get suspended all the time. Events don't happen all the time. Things don't go to plan. And what I'm wondering is when shit hits the fan at these events, because it always does. I've
Yep.
been behind the scenes for a lot of these events. Shit hits the fucking fan. And the question is, do you have the fortitude? Do you have the connections You have the right people around you to make everything go right and not
Mhm.
be a complete clown show. So we need to see. We haven't seen thus far. You know, the like what I would say makes me confident about Bloodline. I haven't seen. I've seen a lot of pullouts. I've seen. I don't even know where the venue is. Um,
All I
I
know is that
like the
it's
main
going to be
event.
in Chicago.
I like the main event. I like the co-main event. I just hope it happens. It's a
I do
lot.
too.
It's easy to build it and say this and drop the promo, drop the posters. That's the fucking easy part. You
Yeah.
know, when shit hits the fan, that's the hard part. And I know it's for them. It's already been a nightmare.
It has been
It's already
hard
been a
that I've
nightmare.
seen, yeah.
So I hope it happens. I hope it's great because my friend runs it, Intrepid runs it,
Yep.
and I want to see it be as successful as possible. But I don't want to put the pressure on them like that. They need to prove themselves first.
Yeah.
They need to prove
Yeah, if I'm
themselves
not
first.
mistaken, it was already canceled once. It was supposed to be here in Dallas, Texas. I'm not sure the date.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Shit like
I mean,
that.
we should just give it a chance.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
Got to give
me and
everything a
Recon,
chance.
we'll definitely be we're going to do a watch party if it goes through, which hopefully it does. I do think it would be cool if we even live streamed our watch party. I think that'd be awesome to do as well.
Yeah, that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, hopefully that goes through because I am excited for that whole card. There are some good names. Intrepid, I like him a lot as well, so I hope everything runs as smoothly as it can for him and for Bloodline itself.
He deserves it.
He does. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be wrapping up soon. But one of the last questions I have for you, at least that I have, if Recon does have more questions, that'll work as well. I wanted to ask you about me and Recon. What do you think should be next for us? I don't know if you heard the last podcast. Me and him both made some call outs. What would you want to see from both of us?
Recon, I'd love to see you fight Jordani. Yeah, there's a lot of heavyweights out there for you, man. Waffle Taco Gamer, Jordani, Kodiak. You're an excellent fighter. You're both incredible fighters. Great technically, confident in the ring, and Recon. I haven't got to see Vast fight in the ring, but Recon I got to see you fight, and one of the things I like is that you commit to the shots. You have to commit to these shots and believe in them. And a lot of people are too antsy, and I definitely didn't see that with you. So I'd love to see you fight the top heavyweights in the scene. I think Lesnar's a Titan weight, so that fight's not going to happen because I don't want to see you gain 100 pounds. I'd rather not.
Yeah, there's been a talk of me saying I'm more of a cruiserweight than a heavyweight because I am sitting at the lower end.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
but
would I would stay where you're at. Lesnar's obviously a huge fight. It's just I don't think it can happen because of the weight. Um, and I think there's incredible fights for you to make it heavyweight. Vast, you're very, very good. I would like to see you fight in a 50-50 fight. Love to see you fight Royalty. That would be cool. I don't know if you're interested in that, but that's a big fight. Hellboy Kel, obviously, I think is an easy win for you. It'd be cool to see you against Luigi Bellato.
Hmm.
I would like that a lot.
I think that'd be
Tons of
easy.
names for you
I
guys.
think that
A lot of
would.
big fights. Now, who have you called out? Who are the people you
So
called out?
I called out two people on the first podcast. I did call out Royalty. I like him a lot. I have a lot of respect for
Yeah,
him. He is a very good fighter.
yeah.
But like you said, 50-50 fights. That's what I want. I don't want easy fights. Um, I love Kill to death. I have a whole bunch of respect for him. We were supposed to have that exhibition and we didn't. Um, I don't think I could fight him now. I have too much respect for him. It's like, fighting a good friend. I don't want to punch him in the face. Luigi, is tricky. I don't know much about Luigi. I do think I would beat him up pretty bad, pretty easily, but I'm also very confident in my skills. I think that would be too easy. So I think Royalty would be a great fight. I think we're similar in styles.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you want to fight Royalty, there's still openings on this card,
Of which
and
one, I'm
Royalty
sorry?
is down. The Sword 7 card, the biggest card of all time.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, Royalty is trying to fight on the card. So if that's something you want to do, I would definitely be able to make that happen.
Yeah, I already talked to Lazara about Sword because he wanted to get me on there too. I won't be able to make that trip.
It's too
But
bad.
I am going to break out away and I'm going there for media.
Oh, cool, cool.
So I will
That's
be
amazing.
there. If it makes sense, if it works, it works, you know.
Yeah, that'd be a big time fight.
Yeah. But I
Big
definitely
time
want to get
fight.
in there. I've been training for a while now. I've been training for a long time. And I
Yeah,
still have, and I mentioned it during the press conference at Sword. A lot of people don't fully know my abilities, you know, what I've done, and I like keeping it that way. And I know you're good friends with Royalty, um, and I know you think highly of him. And like I said, he is a very
absolutely.
respectable person, and he's a good fighter.
Yep.
Um, I
He
would
holds a
be
lot of
going in
power.
there. Yeah, I would be
You
going
know,
in
I've
there to smash his face in respectfully. Um,
as you should, as you should.
yeah,
Yeah, look, I've trained over 100 rounds with the guy, and he's a hell of a fighter. He doesn't give up. I've hit him with some big fucking shots, and he just keeps coming forward.
yeah,
And his composure has gotten 10 times better. And he was able to lock in that fight after 2 years of inactivity versus the most active fighter in SCB,
that's what I've
and he was
seen
able
too.
to put it on
He
him.
you know, Kel put the pressure on him right from that bell, right from the
Yes,
started, and he
yes,
landed some good shots in Royalty, but he took them well,
yeah,
and
hmm
he found himself into the fight when Hellboy Kel started coming down a little bit. Royalty started going up, you know, started tagging him, hurt him bad in the second or the
hurt
third,
him
one of
real
those
bad.
two, hurt him really bad. So he looks like he's got some good power. He's a good boxer. I think
Yeah,
it would make for a great fight.
yeah. When he hits you clean and flush,
Mm-hmm.
lights pop. Okay,
Yeah,
like he's hit me in my eye, and like boom, just
yeah,
the feeling. It's he's got a lot of power, man, and the speed is insane. But I could say the same about you. You know, you've got a lot of power for your weight, and you're fast as hell. You know, to the point where people are taking your bag footage and posting it like it's theirs, right?
shout out Slime.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to see that
I
fight.
love that guy.
Oh, poor Slime,
But
man. That dude's got to
yeah,
train.
Yeah.
but yeah, I told Vast on the last episode, like, bro, he has some quick hands. Probably the
Yeah.
fastest ones I've seen in the scene so far, for sure.
Great combinations. Yeah. Oh, and
Thank
I
you.
did see you spar too, and you were quite good.
Oh yeah, you watched me and Ashton, and that was just yeah, that was a shoulder spar.
Yeah.
I saw people saying I beat the shit out of Ashton. I was like, no, let's not take that into, you know. If I wanted to put him down at any point, I could have, but
Hey, that makes two of us.
um, but yeah, man. Recon, do you have anything, any other questions or anything like that for my buddy over here?
Um, I mean, pretty much addressed every single thing, you know.
Yeah.
Main event,
It-
Sword 7,
Yes.
January.
yeah.
Yeah, make
Man,
sure
that's
you
gonna
Well,
be a
I want
good
to
fight.
thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for having me on very much. Your first guest. It's an honor, and it made all sense in the world. So I'm glad you guys made this decision. And I want to tell the people watching, please go donate to Sammy Makori Jr.'s Families Fund and
100%.
watch Sword 7 on January 10th. You do not want to miss this. This is a stacked card. It is a house of cards, and it's all going to come tumbling down when I enter the arena. I'm
Yeah.
very excited for this fight with the former champ, and you all need to watch it live on YouTube. January 10th.
Yes, we'll for sure be watching. We're hopefully going to be doing another watch party for that as well. So we'll be watching. All luck in the world to you, man, for your fight. Like he said, everybody, make sure you go watch Sword 7 and New Hope. It's going to be a great card, top to bottom, and I'm happy you got that main event spot. I think you deserve it, and I think you're going to show that you deserve it.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you to the both of you.
Yes, of course. Thank you for coming on.
For allowing us. Yep. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you for listening. To the people at home. Episode 3 will come whenever. Again, Augustin, thank you so much for coming on. All the luck in the world to you, brother. And yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.